is going on, everybody? This is Michelle362, known as Lady Techno on Twitch, and also known as Lady Michelle on another site. So, anyways, I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about ESO. Okay, so, in a mindset, when does ESO become more of a chore than a game? Well, as you can tell, I am playing ESO right now, and this is not a model building stream. This is just a simple thing I am posting up on YouTube today. So, hey John. So anyways, to make a long story short, I wasn't going to post this up on YouTube because of my own particular reasons. So ESO becoming a more of a chore than game. You know, a long time ago, I actually used to enjoy the vast world of MMOs. And I partainly for a while, like I was a big EverQuest fan. And so anyways, why I'm explaining this is because when I played EverQuest Online a long time ago, you know, a lot of the MMOs back in the days, back in the 90s, you know, people found it fun, entertaining. You used to hang out with your friends. You didn't have a Discord. You didn't have anything that was going to be a problem. And when you really, you think about it for a long time, and you're thinking about it now. Now, my whole thing is that I've been playing ESO, actually returning player from ESO back in when the game came out in 2015. Now, some of us who remember when ESO had a very bad system, XP-wise, and you couldn't really do very much. I mean, the story modes, certain quests, you got very little XP. And why I'm saying that ESO has become more of a chore is when you really think about it, you come down to a nitty-gritty. Recently, I was actually in a guild. And I think some of you are going to see where this is going. When you get involved into a guild, certain guilds are pretty laid back and chilled. You know, they're not gonna ruin the fun for you. They're not gonna make the game a chore for you. And you know, and some guilds don't have that crazy requirement. Now, this is something that has been brought to my attention more than once in quite a few occasions. However, when you gotta look at it this way in a general perspective, when you get to a point in ESO, okay, whether if you're a returning player or not, you basically start seeing some changes. You know, we're not going to cover the toxic casuals because that alone was covered so many times in so many ways and so many versions. Now, what I always found interesting is going back to what I was saying about some guilds, they don't pull the elitism. And I know some people who may end up watching this video up on YouTube later, and they're going to probably comment something nasty, which are the real fanboys, or the quote-unquote elitists. And my whole thing is, you know, you could be a returning player, you know, maybe went on a break or a hiatus from playing ESO. Hey, that's fine and good. However, when you come back, the ESO you remember, it's not the ESO that you would remember back 9 years ago or 6 years ago, whatever the case may be. And when you really think about it, in a nutshell, you join into certain guilds, and this is where ESO becomes a chore, not just a game anymore. Now, you got the elitist guilds who expect you to have a certain criteria in order to make it into their tier system. Now, what I mean by tier system is you're actually going to be put into what they call their progression system. Now, look, we all want to like be like this badass DPS or badass healer, but the truth of the matter is it really worth your time to really grind out just to be this badass healer or DPS where you can no longer enjoy the game because now you realize the game is just a chore? And when you really stop and think about it, there are some casual players who generally will not join into elite guilds because, to be perfectly honest and fair, we have a majority of casual players that want to enjoy the game for what it's worth, and of course everybody thinks that you play how you want to play. That play how you want to play is still there. Except some people turn a blind eye and they think that they're trying to be like the next, big sensation, whether if it's YouTube or Twitch, and trying to be like this whole hardcore elitist. Well, hey, if that's the way you want to play. But the thing of the matter is that when you have new people who are playing, who have to grind out constantly day in, day out, and you join a guild, a certain guild that you join in, and they expect you to grind day in, day out, bust your butt, and yet at the end of the day, the game is no longer enjoyable. Therefore, ESO becomes a chore because now you're in this elitist guild that actually makes it unsavory to even play the game anymore. I mean, if you really think about it in a truth and aspect, I mean, for an example, if you were in a guild, okay, and let's say they expect you to be, oh, well, you gotta burn like 75k or 95k or whatever part for your DPS. I mean, there are sets that will help you, but if you're in a Discord and you're in a guild where they decide that even though you have the right gear, you got all your stats properly slotted, you got all your champion points in the proper places, and you got all your passive set as a DPS, and even if you parse, it gets to the point where there'll be somebody in the guild who could be a co-GM or GM or an officer, or how about maybe 2 officers and a co-GM, whatever. And you try to apply your DPS. Now, for some people out there, not everybody has, for like when they join their Discord servers, not everybody has a way to record the video. And the problem is, though, is that some of these guilds ruin it. I think that when you ruin ESO and you have players who have to make this a chore, but the thing is, those players who make it as a chore get burnt out quick. Now, I know this is not one of my modeling videos. I know this is not one of those videos I normally talk about. But when you become into the whole thing about like, oh yeah, you gotta join the elitists, but to join the elitists, that means you gotta make the game more of a chore. Now, for me right now, and I'll be honest, I am actually farming. You know, I know there's, you know, people are complaining that there are bots in the background, but you know what? It's not about the bots. I already got my achievement here. I got what I needed. But the truth of the matter is, folks, ESO is a chore. You know, it becomes, like I said, it becomes a chore. And when you got certain guilds that say they're not elitist, turn out to be they are, because they contradict one another. And then yet, they expect you to do this crazy requirement to where you need to be constantly grinding. Constantly trying to make a game, you know, just to get this certain thing you need to get for being up there in champion. It becomes one of those tedious but boring chores. And on top of it, you know, ESO becomes, well, not really much to be played anymore, because those who are casual gamers are going to lose the interest in playing. I mean, they join into Elite Guild, and before long, they'll grind and grind, but by the time they get to that point, they're already burned out. Then they end up leaving the game, because the game is no longer fun for them. I mean, I could sit here and farm all day, which I have no issues with, but the thing is, I'm going to be a perfect honesty here. I was part of a guild. I was part of a few guilds. And some of you may have seen me around, you know, like along Northern Elsewhere and stuff like that. Well, I've been in a few guilds, and some of them were less savior than others. And I've been in elitist guilds, but the biggest issue, and I'm going to point it out here, is that sometimes elitist guilds can make players basically just stop playing. I mean, the problem is, though, when you got guilds who go into the zone chats and they're popping up, you know, oh yeah, we're recruiting all these, you know, recruiting active members. Look, I understand you're recruiting active members, but when that person joins in that guild has, let's say, about, I don't know, maybe 200 people, but yet only not even half of them are on. So you kind of wonder, you know, it's not so much the active guild part, it's not the chore of the active guild. When elitists come in, or you have elitists in a guild, 9 out of 10 times, the casual players won't stay into a guild that's full of elitists, because it will wear them out. You know, I mean, you can try to push and push, but when you get to that level, even like asking for help, they normally won't help you. So you're basically grinding it out yourself. You have to learn the hard way, which in a way, I mean, I always thought guilds were to help one another and not throw you directly into the wolves and not help you at all. I mean, it gets to the point, you know, you don't, like I said, you don't get that much enjoyment anymore into a guild. And I think what's interesting is right now, ESO, in a sense, is basically kind of sort of dying out. Only because there's not enough people on, and then there won't be anybody until June 20th when it comes down to High Isle. Now, take it with a grain of salt here, folks. If there was anything I can even emphasize on, is that if you're stuck, okay, anybody who is new to the game, and those who aren't new to the game, and those who play for fun, you guys can see where this is going. basically what will happen is an elitist guild takes on somebody who can put a person in, can try to do the best they can to groom them, even if the player does most of the work, on their own character or what have you. The biggest, utmost issue is that elitist guilds bringing in new people, the new people don't last very long in elitist guilds because there's no way that they're going to be able to want to play the games as much as they would like to. And when that happens, it ends very badly for that guild because now you can, once you leave a guild, you can go to any guild you want. Hey, that's fine, but it just seems like every guild, not every guild, but there's some guilds that will want you to be like this elitist, hot dog, but it doesn't work that way. And even if there'll be some naysayers maybe later who comment on this video are gonna say differently about what I'm saying, but the thing is, it's elitists that actually ruin the game for people who are just here to have fun. There are too many elitists. There's a little bit too much of a tryhard. Cyrodiil being broken, which they never fixed. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, you're looking at everything that's around you. If there was anything in the game that could make people want to come back and play and not be bored, is the fact that I think, if the game was enjoyable, like, let's put this with an example. Some of you that are young may not know, but some of you who have been around the block, who know what I'm going to talk about, y'all can understand where I'm going to come from the moment I say this. See, way back when in the 90s, we had EverQuest was the first, not really the first MMO, okay? So, let's clarify that first off. But when a lot of these MMOs started coming out in the 90s, we all got together, we were in guilds, we were in one guild. Hey, that's fine. But when you think about it, you remember when you had fun. There was no such thing as elitism. There was no such thing as anything that made people play a game or an MMO as a chore. You know what I mean? And when ESL came out, at first it wasn't as bad. There was no elitism. But when the game had changed, the mechanics of the games changed. This is when people got, needless to say, got a little bit too big for their britches and decided to act like elitists, therefore aka pompous jerks. So, what I'm trying to get at here, and I know, like I said, I know there's some fanboys out there that are going to probably be butthurt because I'm being truthful about what I'm saying. But the thing is, the truth has to get spoken. And me personally, and I'm speaking on behalf of people I've encountered, another thing that can also take away from a guild member or guild members is if you have a guild who decides that they get very graspy of their guild members joining other guilds. Meaning, like, let's say you join a guild, and the guild that you're in, that you join, says, well, we can't have you join another guild. You just have to stay strictly with us. See, that's where that can get ruined as well. And I'm not going to say this is solely blaming the elitists, but I think there's some members or some certain guilds who have gotten basically toxic over the course of time in ESO. And some people will see it as, well, they're not toxic. They, I have no problems to kill. But, as much as I would like to say this in forefront and truthful, you can deny that you're saying it. You could turn the other way and not say it at all. But, when you really think about it, and you're playing ESO as a chore, just to try to be an elitist, the only thing I can give some advice about is just play the way you want to play it. Go back, just try to have fun, but don't try to, lower yourself down to those expectations that people are expecting you to have. I mean, then you just ruin it not only for yourself, but for others. And that's something I can never stress enough. I know there's people out there that may just generally not like the idea. I'm being honest about this. Not for nothing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie here, but I will make a quick thing here on saying it. I'm a New Yorker, and I actually am extremely blunt when it comes down to this, and I'm sorry if some of y'all who are fanboys are getting butthurt, because you guys know I'm speaking the truth, but at the same time, you're trying to turn the other way as if you don't want to know nothing. Don't be such a tryhard. Don't try to make a game that's a chore. You gotta have fun. I mean, I can't tell you, how many people have come and told me they are leaving ESO because the game has been nothing but a chore to them. They don't want to be in that whole elitism stuff. Me in general, I'm not that type of person who's going to really sit here and basically try to be an elitist. I don't roll that way, and I know there's a guild out there. Like I said, and before I end the video, what I meant by I was in a few guilds, there was a few guilds I was in, really quick, that were trying to expect me to be this elitist that I'm not. Now, I know some people may not like the idea, or I was too vocal in my opinion, but the truth of the matter is, I've done enough as is in the game. The biggest part that I find funny, the other day, I actually met somebody who was a 3600. I mean, you're at 3600, there's plenty of things to do, but if you've done everything, then anybody who hits 3600 needs to pack it up. Or come on once in a while, just get the rewards. I mean, it's kind of like a ghost clinging on to something. They don't even know they're dead. But in all fairness and good, I can only speak on behalf of myself. I'm not speaking on behalf of the 3600, but I've seen people get to CP 1600 and they're bored as hell. I mean, these are things that people do not, and I mean, do not understand. Some do, some don't, but it's a shame when some just don't understand. And when they don't, it becomes a problem, because it's kind of like you're just turning around to a blind eye. I've seen it day in, day out. I've been playing ESO, but I've been playing for a couple of years after I came back, but the thing is, I don't play for it for the chore. I don't play for the sake of, oh look, I have to grind day in, day out because I want to try to be this elitist. See, my playing style is completely different from everybody else's. My perception and what goes on in the game is different from everybody else's. So we all can play the game we want to play, but to what extent? You know, there's a lot more to do than just trying to be somebody that you're not. And when that happens, that goes very badly, and it goes sideways very, very quickly. And I'm only speaking by truth. I'm not trying to like sugarcoat this in any shape, way, form. But understand, you know, you want to play ESO, you want to have fun. And if you can't have fun, and you make this as your chore or job, you know, then there's a problem. I don't know how much I can really emphasize on it. You know, yeah, I might be a hard-up nerd or nerdette because, you know, I've done mostly soloing. You know, I don't really talk very much. I mean, I have my own guild, and I do talk in mine, but the thing is, it's not about my guild. My guild is not elitist. My guild, we like to have fun. But the thing is, we don't, for me individually, being a GM as well in my own guild, it's always a good thing to know where you're going. You know, to know what you're doing. And to also weed out those who could be a problem. With me, I don't expect my guild members to make ESO a chore. Whereas, I'd rather see my members come on and have fun. You know, I'm sorry, you know, some things like this are upholding. But, you know, at times, you gotta say something to speak something. Or say something to get a point across. But, you know, it's only in a way that it can only be shown. You know, I vowed a long time ago I wasn't going to do any more gaming videos on YouTube. I wasn't going to do anything like this on YouTube. Mostly I do the gaming on Twitch, but then again, I don't game anymore on Twitch. Or, well, I do, but it's only once a week. But without that being said, I just want to put it out there. I know there's going to be a lot of butthurt feelings, but you know what? It was high time somebody said something and spoke the truth about it, rather than not do nothing at all. And I do want to point out one other thing. If Zenimax, Zos, you guys need to like really get your player retention kicked up a little bit. Because you're losing your players because they're playing Elden Ring. And also fix Cyrodiil if you possibly can. You know, because that's important. Like, a lot of people are leaving Cyrodiil because Cyrodiil is trash. But anyways, I think that basically will cover everything in my video for today. So if you like what I have posted today, leave a comment down below. And if you're interested in following me more, please do so up on this channel and on Twitch at Lady Techno. So till then, this is Michelle362, aka Lady Techno, aka Lady362. So I'm gonna sign off. You guys have the rest of a wonderful day. And real quick, the Ruins of AI, we are currently recruiting people. So if you are a gamer and you're looking for a guild that has no strings attached and looking for something you're not going to be thrown into an elitist guild, the Runes of AI, this guild is actually pertaining for those who are new to ESO, but we don't expect any we don't tolerate the elitism, is what I'm saying. So if you want like a drama-free, elitism-free, and have fun, play the game you want to play, join up with the Runes of AI, and you can always find me, Lael Donovan362 on PSN. You can add me there too, and if you are interested in joining in the guild, please let me know, whisper me, and that'll be it. Until then, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness, and I hope to see you guys really soon. Looking forward to hearing from anybody soon. So till then, bye for now.